Hello everybody, it's Donna here from Blind and Knitting. Well, it's been a hot moment, 3 months, in fact 3 months since I podcast, and so I thought, gosh, I better get one up and running, otherwise you guys will have forgotten about me. So I'm Donna, I'm legally blind. I have just about that much sight. The rest of my sight is totally gone. It's called retinitis pigmentosa. I have a guide dog, Kenzie, and she's asleep on the floor just down here, and she'll probably add a bit of snoring to the program, and that's okay. She's good at that, so stick to what you're good at, I say. It is gosh, what is the date? It is 7th of April, and the last one I did was the 6th of January. So this is episode number 36. So we're clocking them up, which is pretty cool. The reason I haven't podcast for a long time is because I live in New Zealand. I'm in the lower north half of New Zealand, the lower half of the North Island. Gosh, get it right. And it's been just a beautiful summer, really lovely summer. We've had 2 years of pretty yucky summers, just rained for 2 years non-stop, and so this year has been just beautiful, and I was determined to make the most of it. So I spent a lot of time outside. Also, typically in summer there's a lot happens, and knitting goes by the way. I mean, it's hot as well. Over in New Zealand we have heat temperatures of 26, 27, sometimes 32, so it can get quite hot, and our winters will drop down to 8s, 5, 6, 7, 8s. We have definite winters and definite summers, well, most of the time, and we certainly had a beautiful summer. So I had a lot on. The list can go on, but I've had my granddaughter got married, which was just wonderful. I'm a marriage celebrant, and so I was able to officiate the wedding. So not only have I married my daughter, but I've married my granddaughter. So kind of quite special for me. I've found that just such a blessing to do. We've had 2 cancer scares with my partner and I, one each, and we're okay now. We're fine now, but you kind of put your head down and kind of get on with life and get through those sort of rather stressful times. So we've had some roller coaster rides with that, but we're all back on track, which is really good. What else has happened? Gosh, I went to Unwind Knit Retreat in Dunedin with my friend Sandy, and met her friend that came and joined us, and it was just such a very lovely time. We caught up with Lisa from Unwind and Knit with Me podcast. Hi Lisa, if you're watching. She's become a very special knitting friend, which is wonderful, and we catch up at all of these events now, and it's just really special, and there's definitely very much a community in knitting. I also caught up at the same time with other New Zealand podcasters, and I'll talk a little bit further about those later on in the podcast, and just to tell you who we met and I met up with. And we did do a little video of us all together saying hi and a little bit about ourselves, but I can't seem to download it. So yeah, it's that IT thing again, and hey ho, it's just an issue. But Unwind and Knit was a fabulous retreat. We had some wonderful speakers and some workshops that were going on. I learnt so much about knitting. I met some wonderful people. I didn't purchase anything. Didn't I do well? I promised myself I would only purchase something if it was like exceptionally special. And I did. I mean, there was some beautiful stuff there, but I mean, I've got so much, and I'll share what I've got to knit over the next few months. I've got quite a line of things all ticked up, ready to go. So that's my mission for that. I've also got an FO and a whip, 2 whips actually, but one I can't show you because I left it at work. Duh. So what else has been happening? I had one of my cousins passed away, which was quite sad. She was similar age to me, but she was the first of our echelon of family. And it's like, oh, we're now that kind of layer. And I think that that was quite a pivotal moment, I suppose, for me. It made me really think about life, you know, and that we really, really do have to enjoy ourselves. And even through the tough stuff, there's got to be those little gems in life that we've got to keep an eye for. And then we had my other cousin's 60th, and that was so much fun, catching up with cousins from Australia. And oh, we had a blast. Bit of karaoke and a fabulous Chinese restaurant that did this, I don't know what you call them, banquet. Oh, just, I didn't have to eat for days afterwards. It was just stunning. So that was a lot of fun. And Easter, my family, as I've said many times before this, my sister and I, between us, with my children and her children and our grandchildren, there's 24 of us when we get together, just immediate family. So we had a lovely, awesome Easter out at Stuart and I's place. Out, we live rurally on a small farm, and so the kids went out and the Easter bunny pooed Easter eggs all over the paddock, and the kids just had a blast running around looking for Easter eggs through the paddock. And oh, you know, it's just really simple, fun, special times. I still have trouble with IT. I would like to think I could put a photo up here of it, but we'll see how I go. If it's not here, I'm sorry. I can put it on my Instagram page. You can find me on blind underscore knitting at Instagram. So I'll put it there. One of the other things that I've been doing, and this has probably taken up most of my knitting time, I guess, is I've got really keen on dump and go meals that are ready to go. So frozen meals, just basically ready to just dump in the crock pot and go, and pantry. So I have said in previous podcasts that we have renovated our kitchen and made it bigger and much more user-friendly, and part of that is I've got a really nice big pantry now, walk-in pantry, or scullery really, because I can cook in it as well. There's no running water, but there's certainly power and I can cook in it. And so for the last few weeks, and any time that's been an opportunity where I probably would have knit, I've been in my veggie garden and freezing veggies from there, or updating my stocks in my pantry for pantry items. Like yesterday, I spent the day yesterday and I made instant gravy mix, homemade, from scratch, homemade, onion soup that can be used as a soup, but also for dip and all sorts of things like that. What else did I make? Gosh, I made a whole lot. Homemade instant noodles. So instead of those packets that you can buy, I can make my own quick homemade instant noodles, just as quick as a packet, but without all of the icky preservatives and colorings. I made a muffin mix and homemade rice risotto ready to make. So there's lots more. I made so much stuff. One day I know I'm a knitting podcast, but one day I might be able to show you my pantry and give you a little rundown of some of the items there. But I also have spent a lot of time freezing meals and putting them in my freezer ready for just to pick up and cook good healthy winter meals. Winter, you know, so what I've done is kind of the next 3 months, once a week, once or twice a week, we can pick up an instant meal and throw it in and have a good healthy quality meal. Obviously there's no takeaways out rurally, and I've really got addicted to this podcast, and she's a wonderful New Zealand woman, Stacey her name is, and she does a podcast called Farmer's Wife podcast, and just love her, just think she's fabulous. And you keep going, Stacey. I'm really enjoying your podcasts. Just good old home comfort food, just good and easy ingredients that you know you're going to have, and she's got the same sort of ethos and mindset as myself, which I'm thoroughly enjoying. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing for the last 3 months. It's been full of gardening, storing up the deep freeze. We got given a venison. Stuart did some work for someone, and we got given a venison, which was wonderful. We killed one of our sheep, and we've still got a cattle beast going in the freezer. So we're blessed. We're really blessed at the moment, and so we feel Stuart's been really busy with firewood, and he collected a whole fadge full of pine cones the other day. If you don't know what a fadge is, it is what we bale our sheep wool up when it's shorn from the sheep. It's all pressed into what we call a fadge, which is a big sack, basically, Hessian sack. Well, they're not Hessian anymore, but whatever they're made of. And they're probably, what size would they be? Oh, 4.5 feet square, maybe 5 feet square. And so he collected a whole fadge of pine cones. So we're pretty set for winter. It means we can sort of take a breath and relax and enjoy winter. You know, there are some lovely things about winter, and I like all seasons, actually, to be honest, for their own different reasons. Autumn's coming up now in New Zealand, and so it's going to be lots of lovely, pretty, full of lush green and pretty colours, lots of reds and golds, and just beautiful autumn colours. So autumn is a very special time for that. And then, of course, winter for us is kind of a lockdown. We had, I don't know if you have it wherever you are listening from. I think most people do, is changing the clocks over. the daylight saving, that's it. So we had daylight saving last night, 3 o'clock in the morning, so we had to change our clocks over today. So it's spring forward, fall back, so we are going back an hour, which means it'll be a little bit lighter in the mornings and a little bit darker in the evenings. And you know what, guys? That means knitting time. So I'm getting itchy fingers. I really want to start. I've been pottering along with a few things, and I'll talk about them, but I'm just starting to feel the need to want to start bunkering down and doing some knitting. We actually lit the fire the other night, just because it had been cleaned, and it was a novelty. We didn't really need it. It wasn't cold, but it was so nice having the fire going. And I thought, yep, looking forward to just having the slippies on and sitting, watching podcasts and knitting. Well, there's a ramble. You've just had 3 months ramble. I'm having a wee read. It's Sunday afternoon, late Sunday afternoon. I have been very busy and very constructive, and I love it at the end of the weekend when I feel like I've really achieved, and I have, on my pantries. I've cleaned out my pantry and I've got everything in order, and I've worked out what's not there, and I've got all of these pre-made packages ready. I also did pre-made a brownie mix and a pre-made cookie mix, and a polenta muffin mix. So I'm ready to just pick up and do. So I've achieved, and so I feel I can have a little read. And a nice little number it is. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it's a nice little charades. Let's get on with some knitting, shall we? Let's talk about some knitting. My first defo I'm wearing. So my first finished object, I cast this on when I was on my cruise. I went for a cruise around New Zealand with a lovely knitting friend of mine, Vicky, her and I, and Vicky was knitting for her husband a cow. And I said, gosh, that's a handy little thing for I have a raincoat that is quite thin. It's not a big puffy one. It's a tailored sort of coat. And I thought, what I need is something that I can roll up in a nice little ball and tuck in the sleeve, the pocket when I'm not hot, and be able to pull out and just flip on when I'm hot. And I tried on the one she'd just finished, which was for her husband, and I loved it. And I thought, I'll make one of those. So this wool is merino silk. I cannot remember the label of it, I'm afraid, but I brought it from Good Wool Hunting, which is in Greytown, which is very local to me here. We went and visited their new shop in Greytown, and this was my purchase. So it's from Good Wool Hunting. It is, I think, I'm guessing around 65–70% merino silk, and it's just beautiful, and the colours are stunning. Now, I didn't have a pattern, so all I did was I asked Vicky what she cast on for a hubby and what size needles, and she said, oh, 320 stitches and 3.75s. And so I did that, and I just knit straight. I just didn't want anything that had thinking to it. I just did purely straight, and this is what I've got. So it is very, very soft, and it's going to do exactly what I wanted to do. It's going to be able to roll up so nice and snug, and I can pop it in my pocket when I'm hot, because you know, sometimes you wear a coat and you're hot, sometimes you wear a coat and you're cold, and then I can just unroll it and whip it around my neck like so. Oops, I've blocked it, but I haven't put my ends in yet. So I think I can, even in really snug times when I need it around my neck really snugly, I can do it 3 times. So yeah, there's my finished object. Really happy with it. It's oh she says and can't get it off. So I'm not going to keep it on because it's jolly hot here. The sun is beaming in to my room. We probably should be outside, but this wool is gorgeous. Look at that. Yeah, I really enjoyed knitting that. Just very pretty wool. The funny thing is, I brought it thinking, oh, that's perfect. I've got a purple jacket, and that will be just nice to go with my purple jacket. Got it knit, almost finished it. Thought, oh, get my jacket out. It's not purple, is it? It's burgundy. So it doesn't actually go that well, but I don't mind. I'm really happy with it. So thank you, Vicky, for those statistics. No pattern required. So pretty much that's my FO. Oh, it's just a stunning day out there, just stunning. There's not a breath of wind, and we've had a little bit of rain. It was declared a drought last week or the week before, and it was really brown. There was no grass at all, just very brown. We've had a couple of good heavy rains overnight, which is nice, and there's just a blush of green now. So yeah, it's such a gorgeous night. So that's my FO. My first whip that I've probably been working on the most is, I didn't bring it home, so I can't show it to you, but you have seen it before. It's Hohi Locatelli's shawl called Pure Joy, and I'm knitting it in a merino wool that actually can't even remember where I got that from. No, forgotten. And a cascade in between. So it's got wedges of fleck and then a plain line. So I'll bring it next time we chat and you can have a look at it. But I've just been consistently working on that, quite enjoying it. It's going to be a pretty little scarf, kind of that spring or autumn scarf where it's bright and fresh and crisp. So just enjoying that. I like to have a scarf on the needles. So that's what I've been pottering on with at work. And what the other one that I've been pottering on with is my Corin cardigan, which is Creia Bayer. So Rebecca Clow, who is in New Zealand at the moment. So Rebecca, hello and welcome to New Zealand. I hope you're enjoying yourself. You may actually be in Australia now. I know you were going over to your mum's wedding, I think. But I did see that you were in New Plymouth a little while ago, which is not far from me. It's a 4-hour drive from me. So I hope you're thoroughly enjoying yourself in New Zealand, and enjoy. And this is Rebecca Clow's Corin cardigan, which is a lace cardigan. That's the pattern there. If you can see that in the sun, it's really pretty. It's nice and easy. It's just a nice, very easy to remember meditative pattern. So it's knit from the bottom up, and I've done the bottom and I've done up. I've finished one you're looking at this upside down, by the way. One shoulder, I'm onto the other shoulder. It's quite quick growing because it's an 8-ply. I'm quite looking forward to this. You know, I really feel that I haven't got enough cardigans. So my mission really is around cardigans and cardigans. Yeah, I just feel I need a couple more cardies. And this is a nice neutral colour that will blend with, you know, this will look nice with a white shirt and jeans, or just a nice neutral colour. The wool is, it's 100% New Zealand wool. It's also spun in New Zealand, so it's New Zealand, New Zealand, New Zealand. It's made in by New Zealand Skeins, which is in Napier, and I've talked about Skeins before. We go up to a retreat in August to Skeins with the lovely Marie, and it's called Roving. It's 8-ply, and it is I don't know if you'll be able to tell, it's kind of blown rather than, doesn't have the ply, so it's a blown wool. I don't know how it's going to wear. I picked it up super cheap. It was quite a good special. It was one of those, gosh, I can't leave that behind, that's so cheap. And then I brought it and then discovered that other people said, oh, pills, but all wool pills. But anyway, it'll be what it'll be. So that's what I'm knitting. So I'm getting along with that. Really, I've only got one front panel, the back panel, and the 2 sleeves to do, and the bands. And now that I feel like I've got itchy fingers and want to knit, I can see that sort of coming off the needles reasonably quickly, I hope. Particularly now with daylight saving and things are getting darker at night time. So that is on. This is in my bag that I got as a it was a Christmas exchange, surprise gifts, and so I got this as one of my surprise gifts. It's actually my favourite bag. I just love the pattern, it's so pretty. And it was by a woman who has a company down south called Dreamfire, and I have talked about her in previous podcasts, but that's a beautiful bag. So that's my other whip. So those are my 2 main whips at the moment. Is the short. I've got some socks. I've kind of lost my mojo for socks. I think when it gets colder I will. You just knit them now and think, oh no, just give me a pair of jandals. That's all I need. I've got socks on at the moment and my feet are sweltering, so it's like, yeah. So those are my 2 main knits. So when I went on my cruise in November with Vicky, I did purchase 2 lots of wool. I'm not sure if I've shown you them, because my next podcast after the cruise was all my knits 2023. So I did what I'd knit through 2023. So I don't think I showed you my purchases. So I thought we could do that now. And then so my plans moving forward over the next few months, and what I'm hoping to do, and that's the podcast. So when I was away, when we went on our cruise, I'll just get rid of my book now. When I went on my cruise, we were going to visit Lisa, who's become a very good friend of ours, and she has a knitting shop, Unwind and Knit with Me. And I thought, right, I'm determined I'm going to purchase some wool from her. I had some ideas on what I was going to buy. The other person that we were going to knit was Ethan, who has a shop in Christchurch called, golly Wally, what's it called? The name's eluded me, but that's okay. I'll come back to it, or I'll link it down at the bottom. So I thought, there's 2 people that I'd really like to support, local New Zealand buyers and knitters. So I saved up the money to buy 2 garment lots of fibre from them. And so I did. And so what I bought from Lisa, oh gosh, sorry, was me knocking you around. Sorry. She has John Arbon, which is a UK wool. That's the tag there. It is a 8-ply, a DK, and it is, let me get my notes. Oh, I've I've done my back in. I've hurt my back. I've been going to a chiropractor. It was when I had a fall. I think I've told you about, you know, one of those gifs that you see with people on the treadmill and they're running. Well, that was me, and then I just flew off the back. And that was back in October, November, and I'm still going to a chiropractor now, and I'm having to get my teeth fixed. Hey, so be careful on those treadmills, ladies and gentlemen. This is, let me see, where are we? John Arbon. There we go, John Arbon. It's 50% Blueface Leicester, so BFL, and 50% Falklands Merino. So it's a UK wool from Devon, and it's one of the things I really want to do this year is explore different fibres. I've never knit with BFL, so that'll be quite a new thing for me, and I've only ever knit, as far as I can remember, New Zealand merino, so a Falklands merino will be interesting as well. So that's it. But what Lisa had made with this wool was a striped, it was a circular yoked top, and I think, and I can't remember who the style designer was, and I loved the concept, but I'm not fussed on circular yoke stripes. I actually quite like a raglan with that sort of come straight and round look. So I thought, okay, well, I'm quite happy to knit with that wool, but what I'll do is I'll find a pattern that I can do stripes. And by stripes, I don't mean little stripes, I mean quite big chunky stripes, you know, 3-inch stripes. So Lisa had knit it on quite a pretty pearly grey and a very soft pink, I think, and I thought, no, I want to go out there, I want to explore colour as well, so I want to get two colours that not clash, they're in the same hue but they're quite different. And so I was a little brave and I brought these two colours. So I'm going to knit, oh, that's my back, I feel like I've got a charger on the back. I'm going to knit a striped neck, from the neck down, raglan, plain, not sure if it's short sleeve or long sleeve. I've got enough for a long sleeve. I'll see what my mood, I haven't picked a pattern yet either. If you've got any suggestions, I'd love to hear them. But I'm going to knit these two colours, hopefully. Oh, excuse me, I've got the sneezes. Hopefully, I'm trying to put them in a way that they'll look quite good together. I think it's out their colours, but I wanted out their colours. So yeah, so that's what I purchased from Lisa. It's, again, it is called Knit by Numbers. It's a John Arbon Textiles from the UK. It's a DK, and it's a blue-faced Leicester and merino, Falkland merino. So that was my one big purchase from Lisa, from Unwind and Knit. And then from Ethan, I brought, he has, where are they? There. He has in stock hedgehog fibres. Now, he wears this beautiful, and I love a raglan crew neck, top down, simple, just garter stitch jersey in hedgehog fibres, and I always admire it on him. I was hoping to get the colour he'd knitted, which was kind of creams and caramels. Unfortunately, I couldn't, and because I'd made my mind up to get something, I thought, okay, well, I will get this, which is quite so pinks, blues, lemons. They are in my wheelhouse. I like these sort of pastel colours, and so this is hedgehog fibre. It's 4-ply. It is, where is my notebook? It's fallen down. It is 90% merino, 10% nylon. So it's actually a sock yarn, made in Ireland. So we're certainly getting different flavours of the world. And it is made in Ireland, 90% 4-ply. So yeah, I think I don't know what to. It was more about supporting friends of mine and saving up and being supportive of friends that were buying wool, were selling wool in New Zealand. So I think maybe it's full ply, so maybe a cardigan, or maybe I'll do something similar to what Ethan has with a raglan, but I'll do a v-neck. So a simple v-neck raglan would look rather pretty. I think it'll be lovely. So that's on my mish list as well. So they were my two fibres that were to support people, but we also went to, no, that was before then. Where did I get this from? I can't remember now. So I brought these just because I simply love the colour. It's a beautiful orange. I don't have any orange in my knits, so it was just one of those, oh, that's a beautiful colour, but you know, the ADHD got me and was, oh. So I brought this. It was at, oh, I honestly cannot tell you where I bought this, and it doesn't have on it whose it is, but anyway, it's gorgeous. It is a 4-ply, and it's 95% merino, 25% silk. So I'm suspecting someone like Fibre to Go, it'll be someone like that, and it was at a a market. So those are my three. I quite like that orange. I think I've just fancied casting that one on first. Really keen to see what that's going to look like. Those are my three next big objects that I've got. Of course, I always, well, she says about the socks, but hopefully I'll get my mojo back for my socks. I was doing them in the car traveling, and I kind of stopped. It just got hot. So when it's cooler again, I might start again. I always like to have a shawl going, and I'm enjoying my Ho-He one at the moment. And I really want to either Stephen West's, and don't ask me, no, I haven't finished Stephen West's last shawl. I don't know, all of the challenge around what it looked like, and I've tucked it away. And I bought the most beautiful wool from a local lovely lady who has a wool company called Spud, S-P-U-D wools, and she dyes them naturally, and it was dyed with, see, if it's not written down, it doesn't stay in. This is for creating ideas, not storing them. Anyway, so that's not sitting there. I might pick that up actually. When I finish my Ho-He one, I could pick that one up because I love the wool. I'm really excited about the wool. And I will, yeah. There we go. There is a rundown of my last 3 months of not so much knitting, but lots of gardening. Been in the garden heaps. Stuart's just added to my garden some steel framework for me to have some frames to grow things over, and so I'm looking forward to that. Lots of pantry filling, lots of freezer filling, preparing for winter, preparing to be able to sit and knit. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope wherever you are, if you're over on the other side of the world, you will be coming into your spring, so that'll be lovely to look forward to. I'm really enjoying some homesteading and harvesting podcasts at the moment, but I did watch a couple of podcasts today. One of my favourites, Jonathan Days, who was on, and he had knit the most beautiful, what do they call themselves, a garçon colour work, which was just stunning. So yeah, I'm getting back into it. My mojo's coming back. I hope you're all well. Thank you for listening to me, and enjoy the rest of your day.